Clean your air with this air purifier. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm looking at this. This is the YOKEKON 7-in-1 air purifier. And I just want to say that you can always have your air be cleaner and purer than it is now. We live with a lot of environmental contaminants and we don't even think about it. Pollution, pollen, dust, various allergens, smoke, you name it, frankly, stinky clothes, all of that stuff affects your air quality, and that affects your life and especially affects your sleep. Enter this. This big beast is the YOKEKON 7-in-1 air purifier, and it's big enough that it can fully replace the air in a 500 square foot room 4 times an hour if you have it on high. And like I said, it's a 7-in-1 air purifier, so let's talk about those 7 stages. We have pre-filter, antibacterial cotton filter, HEPA filter, active carbon filter, catalyst filter, nano antibacterial filter, and then it's also adding some negative ions. 7. Nice. And it filters down to, this is kind of crazy, down to 1/10 of a micron. By comparison, a human hair is 75 microns in diameter. So 1/10 of a micron, that is pretty darn small. That is smaller than I can show on this video. But you don't want to hear me talk about it. Let's see this thing in action. But to start, let me just show you, if I can do it from the side. I might have to do it from the front. Let me show you the filters. So it has all these different filters, but it's neatly set up into 3 different pieces. So this first one is really big, right? So that gets just like the, hair and stuff. Then we have this filter, and the key to realize, this is surprisingly heavy, is it's different on the back. So one of these is doing multiple stages of filtration. And then finally, you have this filter all the way in the back. And again, this has 2 different styles or stages in it. So there's a lot going on. And then basically it's just a fan. And the fan basically just pulls air through all the filters and out the top. Easy enough. And yes, you can clean these filters with a vacuum or a wet sponge. And every so often you will need to replace them. And the replacement filters you can buy on Amazon. They are a little spendy, but stick with me. When we get to the end, I'll talk about a way you can get an entire set of filters for free, which is a pretty darn good deal. So, also works with magnets, which I like. That's it, done. Now, let's use this thing, and you can use this with this handy, albeit a little weird looking remote. I gotta say, not a fan of the remote design. It feels super cheap, but be that as it may, it does work. Requires 2 AAA batteries you put in the back, and then in the front, you get all these controls. Let's turn it on. And then it actually has an air quality sensor system of its own. There's a little tiny flap here, and this is where it's pulling air in to test. And then it figures out how clean or dirty is your air. If your air is pretty clean, it'll automatically step down to a lower fan level, and you can just push the auto button. And I have clean air. I have a lot of air purifiers going. I like to actually be able to breathe deeply and enjoy my air without feeling like I'm getting pollen or other allergens or dander or hair or any of that stuff. There's a lot in my environment, and this helps keep it clean, right? So you can see, here's the display. It's all pretty straightforward. You can control it all from the front panel, or you can control it from the remote. So this is on the lowest setting, and I have my patented air speed indicator. So you can see it's not moving very fast. So now let's move it up to the next speed. So this is medium, and it's a little more going on there, but when you get to fast, that's when we're getting a lot of air coming out of there. And again, it's hard to show how much air is coming out of this, but I can tell you it's a pretty good airflow coming out right now. And it's not very loud, so I'm going to get real close to it and you can hear. It's not very loud, and they have a sleep mode that actually is down to about 20 decibels, which means you're not going to be able to hear it unless you are in the world's quietest environment. But the other thing that's fantastic about the sleep mode, there's so many of these that don't have this feature, but this one does. When you put it in sleep mode, watch the front, turns off. So it's still working. I can still feel air coming out. So this is perfect for when you're trying to sleep and you want good air quality while you're sleeping. Super important, really great for the baby's room too. Really helps your babies sleep well. But super quiet, all the lights are off, and it's still working just fine. And when you're ready to go back to regular, you push the auto button or something. You have shortcuts that get you to pollen and allergen settings. Not exactly sure what those are. And you also have a timer, so I can push the timer button and can adjust. So it's down here, 11 hours, 10 hours. So I could set it up where, it'll run for 8 hours. And then when it's done, it'll turn off. So super easy. There's a lot to like about this. So let me just review real quick. So it has 7-in-1 air purifier, 3 fan speeds, smart air quality sensor, and if you put it on auto, it'll automatically go faster or slower to manage your air and try to keep you in the healthiest air possible. Sleep mode turns off the LEDs. Way to go, guys. Why do other companies not do that? Obviously, if you drape a shirt over it, it no longer works. So it has to have that feature built in for this to be effective. And finally, it has a child lock, which is so good that I couldn't figure out how to actually defeat it, right? So I'm pushing all these buttons, nothing's happening. Turns out the way that you turn off child mode or child lock is to hold it for 5 seconds. And now I can turn things on and off. So there's a lot to like about this. Like I said, it does need replacement filters occasionally. They say 6 to 8 months. I think that's very much a function of how dirty your environment is. And remember, you can vacuum with an attachment. You can vacuum both sides of all the filters, and that'll extend their lifetime. So that's worth it. But if you need to buy a new replacement filter set, it's $39. I actually have the link in the description. But here's what's really cool is it comes with instructions, but mine at least came with this little card that said if I give them feedback on this product after using it for a while, then they'll send me a free set of replacement filters. That is a no-brainer. You should definitely do that if you're going to get this. And I have a 15% discount code also in the description. So that price gets lower and lower as you think about, well, I get a discount and I can get a free filter set. So not a bad deal all in all. Which takes us to what's the price? And before I get to the price, I want to ask if you can subscribe to my channel. Really appreciate when you do that, and it helps us stay connected. And obviously, I'm really honest and straightforward with my reviews. I try to have a little fun with it. Whether you think it's fun is another story. Leave a comment or don't, if you, whatever, But click that subscribe button. I appreciate that. So, cool. This is the YOKEKON 7-in-1 air purifier, and it is $149 at Amazon.com. But if you use the discount code in the description of this video, you can save an additional 15% on that. And if you use this, when you get it, you can also get a free set of filters instead of paying $39 for them. All in all, pretty screaming deal. This is a really nice air purifier. I'm giving this to my daughter for her little 1-bedroom apartment. This will be more than enough to keep her air nice and clean. And she has a cat and a dog. So having that air be clean and getting some of that dander and all the dust and everything out is going to be really important. And I am completely sure they will sleep better with this. So that's all I got. I am turning this thing on because there's no reason not to have nice, clean air, which means I'll catch you in my next video.